Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Near Post Flick On. Yes, it's been a minute, but we are back. So, straight into it. The AFCON update for you. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are through to the semi finals of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament. It's the 16th time in their history that, the Super Eagles will be in a semi final. Now, I watched the game from start to finish and I was absolutely surprised and amazed as to how well the Super Eagles performed. I felt they played brilliantly. It was an emphatic performance, a great victory for the team. I thought Algeria would put up some type of challenge, but Mahrez was quite quiet throughout the game, and that's testament to how the Nigerians set up themselves and how they played and approached that game. And to be honest, I've been keeping up with the competition, and they have been the most impressive side in the tournament thus far. So Osman got them off to a flyer in the 47th minute with a brilliant header, and Adams then again through Osman's setup put them two goal ahead in the 57th minute. And to be fair, Adams could have really got a hat trick because he had a whole heap of chances. He could have got a hat trick easily, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. But at the end of the day, Nigeria put in a great performance. I haven't seen this team play so well and as a unit. And you could see the bond that the team have because even at halftime, they all huddled up, gave their little talk, whatever it was. I don't know. I don't know what they were saying in that huddle, but it was good that they had that camaraderie and everybody was willing to fight for each other. And yeah, they deserve the win. Commiserations to Algeria, but I think that the Nigerians definitely deserve that win. They deserve the victory. It was a great performance, brilliant performance from start to finish. I thought every player, played out of their skin. I haven't seen Iwobi perform so well in a tournament. He's come of age, if you like, and he's definitely, you know, the link man in the middle there, and he's doing brilliantly, as is Osman and of course Lukman as well. They're just playing as a team, and it's good to see. I think the only disappointment is that they didn't qualify for the World Cup. Because I tell you what, I would have loved to have seen this version of Nigeria in a World Cup tournament. I would have loved to have seen it because I think that the manager, Eric Chile, he's done a phenomenal job. Let's forget about the talk of voodoo and all that nonsense. But give them credit. Give them credit. I think he's turned the team around. If they focus on football, this group of players, they can definitely produce the goods. And I'm thinking at this point, they are good enough to win the tournament. They're definitely good enough to win the tournament. They go into a semi-finals with um I think they're going to semi-finals on Wednesday against Morocco. Now that's going to be a tough challenge as well because Morocco, they're the host nations and they've got very good players as well. So Morocco, they aren't no slouch. The Moroccans aren't a slouch. They will definitely be up for the challenge. They will have the support of the home crowd, and it's their backyard. So you would expect them to be up for it. But as I say, this version of Nigeria that I've seen, these guys can easily win this tournament, but they've got to be switched on and they've got to literally hit the ground running from the start, from kickoff. They've got to approach the game like they have done with confidence and attack minded. They've just got to hit the ball, hit the ground running if they are to overcome anything that Morocco will throw at them. So I was very impressed with the Super Eagles. I thought it was a well executed victory, and they are primed to go all the way to the final of the AFCON, and they deserve it to be honest. But as I say, it's going to be a mammoth challenge going up against the host nation, Morocco. But we'll wait and see how that goes. And I think in the other semi-finals taking place on Wednesday as well, Egypt against Senegal or Senegal against Egypt. So that means Mane takes on Salah once again, and they are super competitive. So that should be an interesting game. So Egypt knocked out Ivory Coast 3-2. I think Salah got the decisive goal. They won 3-2. But I thought Ivory Coast would have done a little bit better, but it wasn't meant to be. So yeah, it sets up a great game again against Senegal, and they've met a couple of times already in their history. And I think in more recent time, Senegal have had the better of them. But you never know; it might be Egypt's turn this time round. But we will definitely see what happens. And yeah, for me, I think the tournament's been very, very entertaining. It's been very entertaining. Of course, it's been earlier than when they normally play in January because of the World Cup. And as I say, it's a shame that Nigeria won't be in the World Cup this time round. But I would have loved to have seen this confident Nigeria team in the World Cup. But it wasn't meant to be. But I think they've got a good enough squad to win the African Cup of Nations. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough against Morocco. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Wednesday's a big day. We'll see how it goes. But please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.